So over the last 7 days, I've done something which I always said I wouldn't do. And I'll be honest with you, I'll never do it again. So this week I decided to buy some goods from eBay. Some brand new, some to repair. Never again. Not one of them has been straightforward, and I've done about 12 transactions in 6 days. I'll be very brief with this. First, I decided to buy something brand new, which was a brand new strimmer, just a cheap 40 quid battery operated thing. Couldn't get it to work. I thought the battery had died, so they offered me 10% off, and I said no, because the battery is about 20-25 quid. Then they said 20% off, and I said no. Then I found out it wasn't the battery, the whole machine had died. Then they offered me 30% off, and I still said no, and then they wouldn't give me a refund. So they decided to send me a brand new one out. But I couldn't understand why they just couldn't at first send me a battery. According to them, they don't have any spare parts. But they'd rather send me a whole new machine and not ask for the other one back. So that's obviously, the money that I gave them has obviously been washed and gone somewhere, because they weren't going to give me that money back. Then I bought a CD recorder, which turned out to be American Voltage. So there's no wonder that wasn't working. The seller now is ignoring me. I bought a couple of DVD recorders. Knobs were missing on those. There's always something missing, and I pointed out in the photograph the knobs were there, and he said they must have fallen out in the post. Where? On the M5? And there was a couple of other things that just didn't go very well. So I bought 12 things in total, and I'm trying to think out of the 12. I think the only one that's been successful, completely 100% successful, was a DVD recorder. But that didn't come with its remote control, so you can't use it. So no, not even that's been 100%. But this one I'm just about to show you, well, this is something I've been after for quite some time, and trying to find a working one is hard. But I found a working one, and I wanted to show you how happy I was that I found a working DVD recorder. It didn't come with a remote control, but it doesn't matter. I've got plenty of them for this. So I decided to do an unboxing for eBay, which got very interesting. And you can tell, and I'm not making any apologies, that I was very happy. I was like a kid with a new toy, a baby with new sweets, because of opening this box. But then it all went wrong, as everything does on eBay. Do you know, sometimes you have something and you've loved it and you think it's beautiful, but then you've lost it, or it's broken, or it goes missing, or it gets stolen, and you kind of think that one day you'll buy another one. Has to be a second-hand one, but you'll buy another one. Well, that's how I am with this. I was such a fan of the early Panasonic DVD recorders that when they brought this out, this was ridiculously expensive. I mean, it was ridiculously expensive when it came out, over £1,000. And DVD recorders, when this came out, oh, have I just given the game away and said it's a DVD recorder? Oops. But DVD recorders, when this came out, had started to get a lot cheaper. The first one, the DMR E20, was £999. Then they came down a little bit, but then they did something else. They started putting hard drives in. Anyway, I haven't looked in this box yet. It looks like I have, but I haven't. I don't know who took the tape off that. I've taken my address off it, but I don't know who's taken the tape off it. I really haven't looked at... Oh, yes, I have, because I'd got 4 or 5 boxes that looked identical, so I needed to know what was inside them. But I haven't had a look inside the inside, if that doesn't make sense. But anyway, before we look at this 21-year-old machine, this beautiful, beautiful thing, I think it's only fair and proper, courtesy of the YouTube channel Acoustic Electronics. I hope that's what they're called. If not, I'll give them a proper shout out in a second. But we'll look at how this machine looked when it first came out, circa 2003. See what I mean? That was a beautiful thing. I mean, I've never classed myself as an audio file, but I know something that's pretty when I see it. And let's face it, I look in the mirror at least twice a day. But anyway, let's just get a little bit closer to this. This is obviously going to be a little bit bruised and battered because it's second hand. But also, I've been told it's in good condition. But we'll make judgment on that when we see it. But of course, like all things we find pretty, there are two things to watch out for. A, they can be expensive. And B, probably doesn't work. But according to eBay, this does. And we all know that eBay tells the truth. Shall I stop being sarcastic now? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So you've noticed that it is a DMR E100. I've had quite a few DVD recorders, as you know, and I've had one of these, and I've been trying to replace it for years. But they're all faulty. But apparently this is a working one. Well, we're going to put it through its tests. Does it do a RAM? Does it copy from DVD to hard drive? Does it even power on? Because eBay doesn't always tell the truth, does it? I hope it does. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It wasn't a fortune. But I'm really hoping this is going to work. Now, of course, it is an analog machine. So there's no Freeview in here. But I've done many videos before of what happens if you attach this by SCART to a Panasonic TV of the same age. It turns it into a digital TV, so we're not bothered about that. And I've got one of those Panasonic TVs here on standby to test. But I want to make sure that it actually boots up first, because it's been probably 15 years since I've been able to turn one of these on, because they have voltage regulator problems, and getting the voltage regulator for this now, well, you can't get the original one, and the ones from China just cop out after a couple of weeks. Comes with a main lead. It wouldn't come with its original remote control. I wouldn't expect it to, but that doesn't matter, because I don't think there's a feature on here that can't be assessed without using one of the newer Panasonic DVD remote controls. So I'm pretty much sure that we are sorted. Now the video, this is where we get a little bit disappointed, because we'll start to see, unlike the one you've just seen on From Acoustic Solutions, I still haven't got their name right. I do beg your pardon, chaps. I will credit you correctly. But this has obviously got a few scratches on it. But let's just have a look at the fascia. Oh, and that, oh, look at that. It's shiny. It's nice. It has the same firmware that's in the DMR E20 and E30. The only thing that it doesn't have the VU meters that I like. I don't think it does. I'd be so impressed if it did. But I just always thought that this looked absolutely fantastic. I just think it's so stylish. They got everything right. They got the fonts right. They got the colours right. They got the fascia right. It was just fantastic. They got the price wrong, because I think they wanted something like £1,200 for this when it first came out. A very expensive machine. And it's only got, I think this has only got an 80 gigabyte hard drive. That's all that's in here, folks. Now you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't matter. Stick a larger one in. You can't do that. The firmware in here will, whatever hard drive you stick in, you can stick in a 200 gigabyte hard drive if you want to, but it will only allow you to record 80 gigabytes. So stick with the same. I just want to see this come on. I want to be able to play a DVD. I want to be able to do a test record. Sounds like I'm choking up here, doesn't it? No, I've got a cough of something today, I don't know why. I just want to see this working. So that's the front. The back from circa 2004 will have exactly what you thought. It would have the figure of 8 in, you've got an optical out, you've got the RCAs in and out, you've got the S-video in and out, and you've got the RGB SCARTs in and out. There's no HDMI on this. This is your true, honest, standard definition. But if you watch it on a small enough screen, and I think I've got a 22-inch we're going to be watching it through, that will be absolutely fine. It will do the job just as you need. But we need to tune it in and test first. The first thing I want to do is plug it in and make sure that after it does the self-check it actually comes on, because it's been 15 years since I've seen one of these come on. They all get stuck in self-check, and trying to find the voltage regulators for these to sort out is impossible. The ones that came after this, the E85 and the E95, you can still get the voltage regulators for them, but not this one. And I'm hoping the RAM assembly works. I'm hoping it reads a RAM disk. I'm hoping a lot of things, but I did buy this as in working order. Can't remember how much I paid for it, but it says it's working. Let's test. One 13-amp plug going in. Well, that is a good start. The old-fashioned clock. Are we kicking in straight away? Wow. Wow. I'm saying wow twice because A, it booted up to BBC One, as you'd expect a machine to do. And it says on the hard drive that there's only 5 minutes 32 left on the drive, unless that means DVD drive. No, hard drive is lit up. You can't see that.
Yes, the hard drive is full. You wait and see, find out what it's full
So
of.
that means 5 minutes 32 is left on the hard drive. You know what that means, don't you? That means there's going to be a lot of programs stored on here. Some of them could be quite interesting. I love watching old adverts and stuff like that.
You'll love watching these adverts, you dirty basket.
So what I now need to do is get the Panasonic TV on the top of it and get the SCART and take it from there. I think that's incorrectly. Let's try again and hope it says something different. It's starting to make some noise and it's starting to read it, so I'm a bit more confident. As long as this boots up to its main menu, which it does. I'd be a little bit upset if it didn't read this, but then again the disc is a bit scratchy. I think it's reading it, and it is DVD RAM. Doesn't say how long I've got to record. Oh, it does. Sorry. It didn't say it on screen. I expected to say it on screen, but on the menu here it tells me that there's 4 hours remaining unless I go to record mode on this remote control, and we'll change that. We just want 2 hours will be fine. It wants me to format it. Let's see if it will. Oh, got to go and do it myself, have I? Okay. So for that I need to go into disk information, format. Well, I usually get tons of problems doing this, but no, this is formatting the cheapest of RAMs. So far, so good. Wow, okay, very impressed with that. Just going to press the OK button. And that's done exactly what I wanted it to do. Is it because... Well, there's still enough there, but maybe it needs more. But it's not allowing me to move. The remote control is not moving from that. It should come down to start dubbing. Okay, I need to come out of that for a second, and we need to have a look at what programs are on this hard drive. Blimey. What is this? It looks like a carry-on film.
Well, same sort of era, similar sort of film, but these were a bit more selective.
Oh, hang on a minute. This is all getting a bit saucy. Right. Don't believe this.
Yeah, absolutely. The hard drive was completely full of the stuff. Not that I watched it, you understand. And of course, the first thing that I decided I was going to do is I was going to format the hard drive. If only I'd have done it there and then, instead of saying to myself, give it a couple of months, I may not have had this problem. But you realise that the hard drive was quite full. We know what it was full of. There's literally about 6-7 minutes left on the hard drive, something like that. So I decided here to do a test recording just to see if the hard drive would work, and then everything went wrong. It really does seem like that extra 2 minutes of just testing the hard drive, instead of wiping it and making it clean. There are two things on the hard drive, technically. There are your video files. We know what sort of video files are on there. Not that that really makes any difference. But there's also the software information that runs this actual machine, which is put on the hard drive from the EEPROM. Now, the good thing about these is you can just stick in any hard drive. I'm getting the dreaded error has occurred, but sometimes you can just reboot. It goes into the self-check mode and then you're okay. What you don't want to see is the message saying replace, well, it's something like replace the disk or change the disk. And guess what? There it is. Please change the disk. That's it. For some particular reason, this eBay machine sold as working, and it probably was. I can't argue with the seller because it gave up the ghost with me.